Mike, can you take us back, obviously, to that moment and just what goes through your mind when something happens that quickly, that's that devastating?
A little shock. I think I knew at that point something was a little more wrong than just going to be getting a couple stitches. I think the pain kind of started getting worse and the bleeding as I got closer to the bench. And so once I took a peek in my glove, I knew something was wrong, and I could feel it. And I wasn't going to be told good news from that point.
Can you describe the emotions? What goes through your head when you think about this whole journey you've taken to this point?
Just you just feel your door is closing on in your career, and you have an opportunity here, and as well as I was starting to feel good here and getting more comfortable with the situation here, and physically feeling great at the time. So that really kind of was more disappointing than anything, and just a major setback. So. Just got a long road ahead of me as far as therapy and rehab, and again getting back in shape for sometime in spring.
Did you ever have a thought, however fleeting, like, I'm done, forget this?
As I was laying there and they were kind of looking at it, the doctors in Columbus were really good, and but then at one point, he's like, I'm not touching it anymore, until he talked to some doctors. So I knew at that point that I was going to be coming home to get it reevaluated and possibly surgery at that point. So at that point, I knew I was, you're talking tendons and nerves and things like that nature. It's a long time frame.
Is the silver lining that it did happen in late November?
I guess, if there is one, I think that would be it. I think, but when you're feeling good and healthy, you just love to continue going and playing, and but hopefully that will come back. I'm going to have a lot of time to work out and get hopefully back in shape, but I think just functionally having a hand back to normal would be first and foremost just a quality of life thing. But at the second hand, the doctors are pretty optimistic. It's going to be fine. It's going to heal. It's going to look good, and it'll be functional. So, but now it's just a matter of building that strength up again.
What are you going to be able to do for training?
That's kind of a timeline we'll talk about. I think once I get the stitches out and kind of reevaluate it, and we'll come up with some sort of time frame of when to get heavier, and bike stuff and leg stuff obviously is easy, and doing that thing. But once the weights and the lifting kind of get in, then we kind of be a little more careful. Skating's fine too, I think too. But skating by myself for another 3 months is going to be a lot of fun.
Do you still have doubt whether you're going to play this year or ever again?
I think there is a little bit. I think there's still that early stages of that of the healing process where you feel like it's a tough thing to come back. I've had tendon surgeries in my ankle where it was gone for a full year, and it took a lot of rehab in the summer to get back for camp. So obviously it's a little different than the ankle area where. It's not as used as often, I guess, as in a skate with a tendon and balancing on a blade. But you still wonder how this thing is going to unfold.
What's the best case scenario?
I think 6 to 8 weeks. As far as being in and out of a temporary cast and whatnot, splints and stuff, and then come February, start really trying to push it hard, pretty good, and see where I'm at, and then. Hopefully, I think our timeline is March at some point, but that's worst case scenario. That's kind of open-ended as far as coming back.
Mike, are you driven by the fact that you don't want it to end this way?
Sure. I think that's kind of, and you see the type of team we have and the way they're playing. It's just, still watching them on TV. They're still fun to team watch, and I used to watch them when I played against them a lot. One of the few teams I used to enjoy watching on TV. So they're playing well. Everything seems to be going real good. So there's no rush, no kind of real urgency thing to kind of rush it and getting back. And that's Kenny and Mike's kind of ideas as well. So, but it is tough. Just to it's going to be tougher as it goes on and sitting around watching.
What's the hardest thing for you to do right now?
There's a handful of things.
So to speak. Can you